For years, fans and players alike have raised concerns about the fairness and consistency of refereeing in National Basketball Association. From questionable calls to missed fouls, the role of the referee has become increasingly scrutinised in recent times. But is there really a problem with NBA referees, or are we just seeing the occasional human error? In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the issue and explore the different perspectives surrounding it. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and let's get into it. Fans throughout the nation were outraged on March 15th about decisions and non-called from referees in a variety of sports. When DeMar DeRozan's attempt to tie the game went in at a buzzer in Minnesota, a flagrant foul was assessed. In response to the Zaza play on Kawhi, the NBA implemented additional guidelines to safeguard the shooter. It doesn't matter if Barnes accidentally played his foot behind DeRozan as he landed. DeRozan's feet drift forward naturally, remaining parallel and without becoming broader than his body. With a review, this decision was simple and provided a rare look of the 2-for-1 free throw. You may wonder why this was reviewed and determined to be a common foul rather than a flagrant, since James Harden received the same kind of foul call in Cleveland. Harden allows his feet slightly parachute outside to land on the defender's foot, which is a significant difference from other players. Additionally, here is James Harden, who for years created a lot of trouble by drawing fouls in a certain manner. Returning to the Bulls-Kings game, DeRozan pulls off a miraculous comeback despite being down by 4 points. I like the handoff back screen, which compels a changeover, utterly. Barnes must take the lead as Darren Fox is trapped in an awkward situation. The whistle sounds, the referee's hand rises, and only DeRozan and the referee in the gym know what occurred as the ball is swishing cleanly into the net. We can only notice a touch on the shooting elbow before releasing from this viewpoint. All I can suggest is that if you don't believe this warrants a call, have someone touch your elbow while you're shooting a deep three to find out. Deep in the fourth quarter of Sixers Cavs, Embiid looks to send Evan Mobley back in time as he stands up to make this mid-range jump shot. This move set off many people. It seems silly of Doc to dispute it because this was difficult. This is one that I've thought about a lot. Just before the hit, Mobley's head tilts back slightly, perhaps signalling a flop on his part. The whole forearm of Embiid's armbar remains in touch with his shoulder and only elevates up after making initial contact with his shoulder. Thus it is not stretched out to get the upper hand. The officials decided that there was insufficient justification for the charge call and counted the hoop. Although I can understand their position, I also feel for Cavs supporters. While you may always play with the common cards you receive simply for joining up, certain tournaments include prizes. You may start with 23 common cards if you use my link. Similar to this game, the Celtics and Timberwolves' first meeting was quite heated. The game was highly rough, the tension was high and everyone was picking on the referees. It was natural that the referees felt the need to take control of the situation. At this juncture in the game, Rudy dunks and does the parallel bars dismount flex, and the trail official from across the court flags him for a technical foul amid all the chatter and grousing. If you look attentively, you can see that his feet indeed touch the white, and the code forbids insulting others. I can see what the representative was attempting to achieve, although this may not have been called in a different situation given the circumstances of the game up to this time. The Celtics run a stunning horn set on the next play, but Rudy is late in crossing over to defend the rim. The fall was a little gory, landing on the hip after a spin. Reviewing the play, it was obvious that there had been contacting to Tatum's face, making this a straightforward flagrant 1 penalty. Tatum only receives 1 free throw because, according to the rules, when a 2-point field goal is scored, you may only earn a maximum of 3 points on a possession. This takes us to the performance we saw right after the contest. Ronnie Nunn, who worked as an NBA official for 19 years before serving as head of officials for 5 and director of development for 3 more, had to get involved in this situation. Well, Ronnie, I appreciate you being here. You must assist us. We have a lot of material to process, so let's get started right away, shall we? I'm not sure, but I believe the first thing we need to do is look at the Celtics coach Joe Missoula, stepping out well off the court to call a timeout before the jump ball happened as they were getting into melee. along the baseline on the far side away from the benches. Do you believe that a technical foul ought to have been called here? The only place the coach may go during a timeout is to the mid-court line, since all of the activity took place as far away from the bench as possible and the referees were not looking in that direction after the game. This is the only thing that can be done to ensure fairness in the game and to the officials. Since all of the action was taking place as far away from the bench as possible, this is the only thing that can be done to ensure fairness in the game and to the officials. As William tried to keep possession of the ball, McDaniels and Gobert both committed fouls that went unpunished. Gobert was out of bounds while in touch with the ball, which should have been the Celtics' ball out of bounds. According to the league's final 2-minute report, the text also states that Grant Williams' tip of the ball after the throw had a flaw. The text also states that Grant Williams' tip of the ball after the throw had a flaw. The text also states that Grant Williams' tip of the ball after the throw had a flaw. There was also an issue with Grant Williams' application of his suggestion. The most crucial information in this passage is that when Williams was struggling to keep possession of the ball, McDaniels and Gobert both committed fouls that went unpunished. Gobert was out of bounds while in touch with the ball, which should have been the Celtics' ball out of bounds. According to the league's final 2-minute report, the text also states that Grant Williams' tip off the ball after the throw had a flaw. The text also states that Grant Williams' tip of the ball after the throw had a flaw. Hopefully we can find a method to return to a jump ball where you can see it's a mano-a-mano like you indicated. In light of Al Horford's unexpectedly shifting positions, we want to examine who can go up or not. Although it is not required by the rules, a player cannot be behind his opponent when the referee throws the ball. It is a social issue because there aren't enough officials to cover games at the lower levels, and there is a lack of respect for the referees there. This is a result of the way referees are handled at the lower levels, where they are paid virtually nothing. Due to this, there aren't enough referees covering games at the lower levels, which has caused concern. Additionally, the book notes that there are horrifying tales of referees working 3 or 4 games a night to acquire enough people to cover these games. This is a result of the way referees are handled at the lower levels, being paid virtually nothing. Additionally, the conversation doesn't have to end here. We want to hear from you. Do you think there's a problem with NBA referees, or do you believe they're doing their best under the circumstances? Please, of course, share your thoughts in the comments, and we'd love to hear your experiences as well in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our latest content. And of course, if you have any amazing ideas for more videos, let us know. We always appreciate your feedback. Thanks for watching us and joining in on today's video. We'll be back soon with another interesting one. Until then, goodbye for now.